Can't go too close. The copyrighted music over there at Sauced. Oh. Oh, we got people in here. Okay, I was getting worried there for a second. Waiting. Oh, there we go. We got the walk. We got the little man. The stig says, how do you afford to travel? How do I afford to travel so much? It's actually a trick. There's a twist there. There's a twist that I can't afford to not travel. You see how it works here on YouTube? Or at least works for me. I travel. I film places. I craft videotapes. Well, not tapes, but I craft videos. I put those videos on YouTube. People watch them. There's ads. There's other means of monetization. And that is my job. That is how I make a living, making these videos. And that's how, no, I'm not in Valpo yet. It does look a little like Valpo, but it is Waynesville, North Carolina. You know, there was once a time, I didn't realize that people on YouTube made money either. Remember, I watched this documentary. It was actually a documentary about, I forget the person's name, but it was the Leave Britney Alone person. And there was a documentary called Me at the Zoo, because Me at the Zoo was the first video ever on YouTube, so it was named after that. And I learned from watching that documentary that you could make money on YouTube. I had no idea. Opening a new, I don't know if anyone cares about local restaurants, but they're opening a new Blue Rooster restaurant here. And we can peek in. They closed down the other restaurant that was here. Birchwood Hall. Birchwood Hall, a restaurant that came and went over time. And now it is went. It is in the went phase of coming and going, caming and wenting. They're always selling the furniture here. They're always discounting the furniture. I feel like this sign has been up here forever. His wife took on that there too. Got the giant musicians there. All right, we got a super chat. I love kitties. Thank you for the super chat. The $5 super chat. Oop, I'm sorry. It's a little crowded out here. It's Saturday night. It's a little busy out here in Waynesville. Sporn says, here's $2. Grab a Coke and do Fire in the Hole. Fire in the Hole, like Blazing Fury at Dollywood. I've not seen the new POV. When is that supposed to open, Ryan? Of Test Track. I'm really excited. What did we say about it? Said a few more things I didn't see. It looks amazing, a major improvement. I was not a fan of the last version, the Tron track. I like the original test track with the test dummies. I thought that was fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think I'll go watch the POV because I kind of want to see it myself. There was a super chat that I missed. Got Exploring super chat. Thank you. Got I Love Kitty super chat. Oh, I did miss one. Connor, thank you for the super chat. Carpetbagger is live. Woohoo. Well, woohoo to you, Connor. Thank you so much for the super chat. How many of the 50 states I've been to? I have been to 49 of the 50 states. Only Alaska remains. A part of me wanted to just blow off my plans for the rest of the year and just go do it. I'm so anxious to get to Alaska, but I think we're going to save it. We're going to save it for next year. Where's that? I don't wear hats during live streams. That's the rules. Gotta follow the rules. These are the rules of the channel. We're going to Cedar Point to try the new Siren's Curse. I don't know. I got they were kind enough to invite me to the preview for Siren's Curse. I could have possibly made it, but chose to not go because they were doing the coaster cam like they did for Top Thrill, but they said they could not, like you couldn't guarantee it. Like, so if I'm gonna drive all the way, and I absolutely appreciate it. They were under no obligation to include me at all. So even being included, I appreciate. But practically, I'm not going to drive all the way to Ohio for the possible chance of maybe getting to video myself on a roller coaster. That's a time and money commitment that I just had to weigh the pros and cons of and decide, yeah, I'm going to have to step this one out. But I appreciate them inviting me. I really do. Exploring, thank you for the super chat. But if you don't film it, who will? If I don't film what? Thank you, Ryan. Philly Kid, thank you for the super chat. Greetings from Savannah, Georgia. I feel like it's been a while since I've been to old Savannah. Ian Dennis, thank you for the super chat. Any thoughts on going to the grand opening for the Buc-ee's in Virginia on Monday? I'm not going to be there. Thank you for the super chat, but I'm not. Have no plans on being there. Devin Atkinson, thank you for the super chat. Says, my dad has been to all 50 states. I'm trying for all MLB parks. That'd be really fun. I don't watch baseball, but if I did, I think that would be a really cool goal. I think Adam Wu did that, I believe. I think that's what he did. I know he visited certain baseball parks where his team that he liked was playing, and I think he went to every one that there is in that specific type of baseball. Thank you, Devin, for the super chat. PRO112, thank you for the super chat. Johnny Rev says there's an adult with autism on name of Aria on Fish Tank, is a huge fan. Isn't Fish Tank kind of like that mean show where they make fun of people? I appreciate any support I have out there. I don't know. I've heard bad things about Fish Tank. Have we set a wedding date? We have not really talked at all about it. We just haven't had a chance. Myra, hey, from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, kind of sorta, in a way, the 51st state, but I haven't made any commitment to visiting non-state areas of the United States yet. Kennywood was sold to Dollywood. I did hear that. I mentioned that in today's video. that Dollywood bought a lot of parks. Dollywood bought, last year they bought Kentucky Kingdom, and then this year they just cleared out, pretty much bought a franchise of parks. Kennywood, Lake Compounds, Idlewild, the company that owns all that park, they basically bought them all. It's interesting. It's interesting. Obviously, Dollywood puts a lot of, Herschend puts a lot of love into Silver Dollar City. They put a lot of love into Dollywood. I would love them to put a lot of love into these other parks. Now, these parks have different, they're all owned by the same company, but they have different degrees of the love that is given to them. Kennywood gets a lot of love. They take good care of Kennywood. I think some of the other parks may benefit a little more from the love. Hopefully they get the love. Herschend family. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's kind of interesting. Ryan says Herschend family is taking over. So you kind of had the two big, like, so the theme park. Yeah, of course you have the theme park hierarchy. Heather, thank you for the super chat. Hi from the UK. Are you going back to Mexico? I'd love to do more Mexico. I really would. Jay Smooth, best skyline in Texas, and why? Dallas has the best skyline, I think, because it's got the Reunion Tower. San Antonio has the Tower of America's best. It's not really part of the skyline, I feel. What was I saying? The theme parks. So, of course, at the top, you have, you know, Disney, Universal, right behind. And I'm just talking about as not my favorites, just, you know, market share or whatever. Then you have hello, and then you have like SeaWorld, probably like SeaWorld, Busch Gardens right below them, and then you have Dollywood. I think maybe Dollywood, but then before that you'd have the two big juggernauts that own the most theme parks. Would have been Six Flags and Cedar Fair. Now, Cedar Fair and Six Flags merged together, so they're a huge company. So it's almost like, you know, they had no real competition at that level in the theme park. So it's almost like Herschend's kind of like replaced that. So it's kind of like Herschend scoops up all the little parks, and so now we kind of have Six Flags versus Herschend in a way. I mean, it's a very different style of park, I think, but kind of interesting. Henry David, have you ever made a pressed nickel or a pressed quarter? Yes. There are pressed quarters are very rare, but they do exist. There's some at the Corn Palace. I pressed Canadian nickels at the CN Tower. Cake Harp, thank you for the very generous $50 super chat. Says you should go to St. John, USV Islands. It's gorgeous, more so than Hawaii. Oh, wow. Also a beautiful national park. It's my happy place. Well, thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know. As far as islands, I would love to go to more islands, but I will tell you what. I am still recovering from jet lag. I have not had sleep problems. I used to have sleep problems. I got on sleep medication, and it kind of cured those sleep problems. I was getting good sleep for years and years. Ever since I've been back from Hawaii, I cannot sleep through the night. I don't know what's happening. The jet lag, I'd always heard about jet lag, and I always thought people were just whining and complaining. But jet lag is really disruptive. Like, it's really disruptive to your life. St. John's not far, maybe 6 hours with layover. What direction? I don't know anything about St. John. What direction is that? Is it in the Caribbean? Because Caribbean, Adam said that you go east is worse. I don't know. South of Florida. What you don't want to do is, it's more about those time zones, going to different time zones. Hawaii's on a 6 hour difference from here. Connor, thank you for the super chat. Have you been to Calico Ghost Town in California? I have, but it's been a very long time. I need to go back. Baby Smith, thank you for the super chat. Always remember that you are special. You have wonderful things ahead for you, man. Also remember that Jesus loves you. He treasures you. He is with you always. Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. There's a cougar on the prowl out here in Waynesville on a Saturday night. A cougar prowling the streets. of Waynesville's. Yeah, Cuba's 90 miles from Key West. I assume, I don't know the fact, I'm assuming Cuba is Eastern time. It's loud, the copyright music here, and it's lost. Two new rides, and they redid one of the dark rides that, ooh, I do got to get back to Lagoon. If they've done anything with the dark rides, I will make a point of getting back there because I love Lagoon. Lagoon's one of my favorite parks. Orange Belly Express is when I drove truck. Only way I got over lag was forcing myself to oversleep a day or two. I took Unisum and slept 14 hours and forced myself to go to bed. I think there is like a certain amount of like, you gotta like, it's gonna be, you know, it's rough. You gotta make yourself get up. You gotta like stick to a rigid schedule, even if it's wildly unpleasant. Greg Applegren, thank you for the super chat. Need to come back to the Iowa State Fair. What I wanna know is what happened to the National Fair. They were supposed to be having the National Fair this year. At least that's what our president said. And then suddenly I haven't heard one thing about it. And it was supposed to happen in Iowa. Friggin' Eyes, thank you for the super chat. Says, I'd be interested in you doing a cameo for me for my YouTube next time you're in San Diego. Well, thank you for the super chat. I can't promise cameos because they're at a time frame. I can't promise they're gonna be from any certain location. I did have someone contact me asking me if I could do one while I was in Hawaii. I was able to accommodate that, but I can't make promises. Hey, please don't spam the chat. Gamer Builder, you're spamming the chat. Please stop. And, or I'm gonna have to block you in 1, 2. Okay. Please don't spam the chat. Okay. Gonna have to block them anyways. Sorry. Those are the rules. Greg Applegren, this is, didn't let me comment on Super Chat. Simply wanted to thank you for the free and excellent entertainment. I made my wife a fan too. Well, thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate it. Means a lot to me. People out there appreciate these videos. I do my best. I try to make some interesting videos. But thank you so much for the super chat. It's very generous. Cajun Mom, thank you for the super chat. Try melatonin for sleep. It's natural. I've tried melatonin before. I don't think it really had much of an effect on me. Bruce Wayne asked me if I want to go to Japan. I am like terrified to go to Japan because I can't handle this jet lag from Hawaii. Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna have to like quarantine. I think I'm gonna have to like quarantine in California. I think if I go back to Hawaii, I'm gonna have to go back to California, stay in California for maybe like a week or so to get back before going all the way back to Eastern time. Like, it's too drastic. Like, you get the bends if you go too fast. You know, like if you're scuba diving and you go down really deep and you come up too fast, you get the bends. Well, I think jet lag is like the bends for vacation travel. Historic Sense Candle Co. Thank you for the super chat. Says, love the videos and congrats on the engagement. Thank you so much. I don't know. I've never experienced anything like this. Like, my world of being able to sleep is turned absolutely upside down. Like, it affects me way more than I ever thought was possible. Poke bowls are the best. Yeah, poke is very different in Hawaii. Like, the authentic poke you get in Hawaii, it doesn't have like a lot of like extra to it. It's always tuna. It's not They don't usually have other kinds of fish. It's usually tuna. It's pre-mixed, and it doesn't come with that. It just comes with rice, just rice. They have a certain seasoning they put on the rice. You and Jen should get married by Elvis in Vegas. I don't think you can do that anymore. I thought the Elvis estate started cracking down on Vegas Elvises. Tiffany Whittington, thank you so much for the super chat. You plan on coming back to Branson? You are famous in our house. Well, thank you. Branson's one of those places I'll always come back to. Those just roadside conglomerations like Gatlinburg or Wisconsin Dells are just places that I'll always come back to, and Branson is one of those. Am I going to do a video for my wedding? I don't know. We don't have any plans. I can't tell you anything about the wedding because I don't know anything about it. Suthius, thank you for the super chat. Any plans for a New York trip sometime soon? Looks like your Legoland videos, and it seems like you haven't been to New York. I've been meaning to get up to New York to do Legoland for years, and it just doesn't all come together. I have the same problem every year in that I love to travel all over to different places, but the season for some places is just so short. You basically got I'm gonna sit down here for a minute. You got from Memorial Day to Labor Day that's when everything's open. Other than that, most stuff is closed. That is the season for a lot of different places all over the country. Rick Fredrickson, thank you for the super chat. Sure, getting a lot of questions of the wedding. I cannot answer a single question about the wedding because there is no plans. None. Favorite trip of the entire YouTube channel? Right now, I would kind of say my Mississippi River road trip, I would say, is probably my personal favorite because I love the river so much and I learned so much on that trip. Have I been to New York State Fair? Yes. Potato Guy asked if I'd do a meetup at Buzz Adams. That would be a cool place for a meetup. I don't know when I would do that. Clay Can says a roller coaster that plays Total Eclipse of the Heart at the end is Mystic Timbers. Yeah, it's Mystic Timbers. I was not expecting it to play Total Eclipse of the Heart. Savannah Griggs says, are you planning on going to any Oddities and Curiosities Expos this year? I haven't made it to any. Have I made it to any? I'm trying to think if I've been to any this year. I may not have been to any this year. Also, the World Oddities Expo. I don't think I've been to either. I love them. It's just I've had different focus this year. My focus this year has been on road trips. This is the year of planes, trains, and automobiles. So doing train trips, doing road trips, and doing plane trips is what the focus has been. I'm still doing state fairs. I've whittled it down where I believe that I will get to, I believe at the end of the year, there will only be one state fair left. Asterisk Hawaii, because I don't know if Hawaii has a state fair anymore. I feel like the Hawaii State Fair may have evaporated. I told you guys, I'll promise you, if they have the Hawaii State Fair again, I will go back. But right now I'm considering it. I'm marking it off the list because there's no proof. Am I saying Alaska? Yeah, I do plan on doing. Hawaii is the state fair that. J-Ram says so much to do in Hawaii. State fair is on the bottom of my list, but you don't understand. You don't get me, J-Ram, because when I get a goal in my head of something I want to complete, I don't care. I don't care if if I show up to the state fair and it's a scrambler in a Walmart parking lot with some diseased Pomeranians in a camping tent. I want to do all the state fairs. I don't care if they suck. I don't care if they're. I do care if they're amazing. I want to see them all. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's a quest. Yes, Kevin Quelch. It's a quest. A lot of people are saying, like, why are you going to that state fair? That state fair sucks. And I will say to you, I don't care if it sucks. MTGA, the shuffler, knows what I'm talking about. Hyperfocus for the win. Diseased Pomeranians would be a good name for a band. My friend John from Exploration Known, he has Pomeranians, but they're not diseased. One broke its leg, though, once. You need a Carpetbagger pressed penny. You can literally go to my shop right now and buy a Carpetbagger pressed penny. Pirate Fox says, are you going to see animatronics this year? I'm always seeing animatronics. I'm always going to places where the animatronics are. Are we back? We had some interference, it looks like. I don't know what that was. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Oh, man. I'm back, I think. Lost about 100. I don't know if it would have cut out, but Ray Shank says, remember when a video that guy who called you at 3 a.m. starting blabbering nonsense about politics? Yes, that was so weird. Potato Guy says, oh, has a press penny machine from eBay. I'd love to get my own press penny machine. Okay, guys, I want to let you know, if you're still having trouble, and maybe some people repeat this in the chat if people are having trouble hearing me. Sometimes when I come back, you guys try to refresh your end to get things back to normal. Refresh. Okay, but it sounds like I'm come through. I've been to the Appalachian State Fair in Northeast Tennessee. No, I don't think so. I've been to the Mountain State Fair in North Carolina. I've been to the Mountain Valley Fair in Tennessee. Car Cam Clips says, oh dang, tried to send a super chat and the feed died. I think the feed's doing okay now. But if you change your mind, that's okay. Sounds going in and out. Do I play Minecraft? No. Elizabeth Class, thank you for the super chat. When will you do more Amtrak? There's definitely more Amtrak coming. Definitely more Amtrak coming. Right now, we are on the automobile portion. We're going back to the automobile portion of the year of planes, trains, and automobiles. Doing our big West Coast, Pacific Coast Highway trip. How's Jen feeling? Jen, I think Jen's had some trouble with both jet lag and with the heat dome. Have not been good for her health. Yeah, no spamming. Don't repeat the same thing over and over again. It's not fair to everyone else, and I'll have to block you. Yeah, it's kind of hotter than it almost ever gets here the last couple days. That weather's been so weird. But I don't want to go on about the weather. Is there audio problem? Well, let me just get up. Maybe if I start walking around, it'll help with the signal. Jen's planning on being with me to visit family in Indiana. Is it supposed to be hot in Indiana? It's hot everywhere. I don't know what's wrong with the sound. I don't know what's wrong with the connection. Normally I get a good connection out here. All right, some people are saying that the sound is fine for them, so I would definitely recommend refresh if you're having problems. Suthius, thank you for the super chat. So our 7-year-old watches is saying hi. Well, hello, 7-year-old. All right, a lot of people are saying it's coming in fine for them. So really refresh if it's not good on your end. I was gonna walk down here. They had a Pride Festival today here. I was somewhere else. I didn't get a chance to come. I was actually gonna see if they had anything going on still, but it looks like they came and took all the flags down. Yeah, I think they had the festival down here today, but it's all gone. Summer can't end fast enough. Summer's when it's the only time I can assume everything's going to be open. I do like the fall. I do like the fall weather. I do like the fall weather a little better. I love fall. Summer and fall. The rest of the time, I feel like I'm just waiting for things to kick into gear. What's the most liberal southern state? I mean, it's kind of silly that we always talk about states in that manner because, I don't know, it's honestly the divide is more between larger cities and more rural areas, and also most places are pretty much purple. Suthius, thank you for the super chat. So speaking of automobiles, would you even try one of those racetrack driving experiences when you're passenger and or driver as well? So what, you go on like a racetrack? I don't know if I would be good at that. Little Way says, I'm conservative, but there's pockets of purple, blue, and red. Just live your life. Yeah, I think people get really focused on politics now, and I don't think it's healthy. I think we need to go back to seeing each other as people instead of colors. And by colors, I actually mean red and blue. You just assume you know someone. You have these stereotypes, these straw men of what you think people are, but really people are your family, your neighbors, and it's okay if they don't agree with you on everything. Geo Madcat, thank you for the super chat. This is I'm hitting the grand opening of Buc-ee's in Brunswick on the 1st. Love the channel. Thank you so much. And yeah, Buc-ee's are everywhere now. I remember the first time I went to Buc-ee's, they only were in Texas. You could only if you wanted to go to Buc-ee's, you had to go to Texas. Now you can go just about anywhere. Someone just said something I like. Ken Kremenacher says, be careful who you hate might be someone you love. That is absolutely a great thing, a great point. Yeah. If you decide I don't like this kind of, you know, people that do this or that, and yeah, it's just, I don't know. Oh, there's one still. There was pride flags all down the street earlier. This is the only one that's left. I guess they put them away for the night. Usually kind of, they pack up early. Missed the Lizard Man Festival today. That would have been fun. Locally made doll clothes. Get your Waynesville t-shirt with a bear on it. Although that's not, I don't think that's a black bear. I think that's a grizzly bear. But black bears come in all colors. Black bears can be brown. Black bear is actually not a really good name because it's not a very good way of describing an animal. And I think some grizzly bears are black, so we should have never, it's the biggest mistake mankind ever made was naming bears by their color. Scott Kramer, I've not been to the Wyoming State Fair. That's one of the few I still need to do. John Lawrenson says, brother, how do I avoid bullies and bad people? They're everywhere. It's really, the best thing to do is, I guess, ignore it, right? Ignore bullies. I mean, stand up for yourself if you have to. I'm a big fan of standing up for yourself. But for the most part, you can't give negative, horrible, toxic people the time of day. Ulysses Jones says, what's the shadiest place ever? What do you mean by shady? I don't really know what that word means. Like, what makes a place shadier than another place? Oh, I know who the Lizard Man is. I'm familiar with the Bishopville Lizard Man. I would have liked to go in there. I may have gone out if I'd known that it was going on. It's just hard for me to keep track of all the festivals. What's my favorite bird? Random question, but birds are great. I would probably pick something, I don't know. Like ostriches are fun. I like, birds that are kind of outside the realm of what you'd normally consider a bird. Like ostriches and penguins are always fun because they're weird. Okay. Cantankerous old ostrich. I gotta keep talking here because the copyright music seeping out of Sauced. Where in my life have I felt uncomfortable or creeped out? I don't know. I'm immune to it, I think. I worked in Child Protective Services. I've been to meth labs and some places that seen some things that maybe I wish I didn't have to have seen. So it's kind of hard, with doing what I do now, nothing really seems shady. Retro Mickey, cassowaries, that's a good answer. Birds are dinosaurs. I've watched it. See, people ask me what videos I watch on YouTube. I've recently been watching a lot of educational videos, me and Jen. There's a channel called Clint's Reptiles. It's just a lot of like good science content about animals and stuff. And basically, like, it's not that like birds descended from dinosaurs. It's like birds are dinosaurs, if that makes sense. Jay Rams, what did I go to CPS for? I was really like, when I was in college, I really didn't know what I was doing. Like, at that age, when I was in college, I just hadn't just formed into a person yet. I was still a bunch of gray mush. Really just didn't have a lot of goals, didn't have a lot of strong passions that translated to work. I originally thought about being a teacher. I don't know, really, honestly, I don't even remember why. Both me and my ex-wife thought about becoming teachers. We both changed our minds. I didn't really like the idea. It's hard to explain because I worked with kids in CPS, but I'm not really good. I'm not really good with kids in that capacity. Better the CPS type of work I did was better with kids. Lori and Katie, thank you for the super chat. Any plans to come back to Knoebels and Kennywood? Always coming back. I honestly don't know if I'm going to make it this year. It'll be the first year I've missed in a while, but I don't know if I'm going to make it this year to either one. So my ex-wife, she dropped out of teaching. I actually did a semester in business school. I honestly don't know what I was thinking there because I hated every second of business school. I hate business. And I'm still not good at business, as you can see how I run this channel. So she was trying social work. She kind of showed me some of the stuff she was working on, and I'm like, this sounds a lot more interesting. This sounds a lot more interesting than business. And it seemed like something I could do. So I went and got my degree in social work. I didn't really realize that social work literally, when I got my social work degree, it was literally like the least profitable degree. Like, it's like the worst. Like, you could find jobs, like there was jobs, but there wasn't money. Like, you could get a job almost anywhere with a social work degree, but for a job that requires a college education, it was ridiculously low pay. Like, for what a job that you've had to pay to go to college to get this job, it doesn't pay enough to even justify having a college degree. So, but that's what I ended up doing, and I'd probably still be doing it. Like, honestly, what else would I be doing? I'd probably still be doing it if this hadn't come along. Robin Prices pays like Starbucks. Probably pays the same as Starbucks, honestly. When I left social work, I've been doing it 10 years. I was making $40,000 a year. I pretty much capped out. Like, that's for like my office. Like, that was pretty high up there because I'd been there so long. So I probably was actually one of the higher paid social workers at that amount when I left. Tracy Brock, thank you for the super chat. Greg Hoffer says, you're better than you think at business. The channel's great. Keep it up. The success this channel has nothing to do with my business acumen. J Ram says 20,000 feels like nothing. Yeah, we struggled. We struggled quite a bit financially on that. 2 kids. Do you need a degree to work in CPS? Yes. You need to have a 4-year college degree, bare minimum. Some places want you to have a master's degree, but still, like, look what they pay. They want a master's degree, but they want to pay you what someone working at Starbucks pays. I don't know. It could be it could be better now. Like, I wouldn't bet money on it, but there's a possibility that it could be a little better now. Mark Tinky says, was just at Dutch Wonderland today thinking of you the whole time. Missed the last animatronic show, though. Do they still have the animatronic show there? It's kind of like, yeah, Dutch Wonderland has like this like random like animatronic band that's like completely unique. Did they offer me any therapy? No. John MG Hanks, thank you for the super chat. Says, maybe Jacob, you weren't meant for traditional teaching, but people learn from you, your journey, your exploration of this country. Congrats to you and Jen. Well, thank you so much. I mean, I hope Kid turns 100-year-old next year. Next year might be a good year to go. I never watched King of the Hill, so I don't really know anything about it. I feel like I maybe watched it a little bit. I don't ever remember sitting down and watching it, but I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's been on the background enough times where I kind of sort of know the basics. Going somewhere for the 4th of July? I almost always spend 4th of July with family. Some year I'd like to go to the, they have a parade at midnight on the 4th of July in Gatlinburg. I'd love to do that one year, but right now it's kind of a family tradition. Sitting on this bench, hopefully my phone doesn't go bad again. Do I shoot off fireworks? Nah. I don't really shoot off my own fireworks. I don't really know anything about fireworks. Yeah, no spamming, please. John Lawrence misses the Route 66 videos. I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of Route 66 here and there, but next year is the 100th anniversary of Route 66. So we probably will be doing a Route 66 trip. Chris James Music says, my kids and I love watching you. We live in Maine. Say hi to Emmett and Liam. Hello, Emmett and Liam. Samuel Ludke says, filming location videos? I'm always interested in this fact. Like, I always get recommendations for filming location videos when I don't really do filming location videos. Tracy Brock, thank you for the super chat. Have you ever used a body cam? I've had have a strap where I can put my my sports camera on my chest. I don't really do filming location videos. I mean, I'll do like kind of sort of filming location videos, like, you know, things that are also basically things that are like also roadside attractions, like, you know, like the Christmas Story house or things like that, like the big ones. Like I'll do those, like, especially if it's stuff that I like. But I didn't really grow up like, you know, so a lot of people make vlogs like Adam the Woo, Tampa J really grew up on like a certain kind of movies, and I really just didn't grow up on the same movies that they did. Like, yeah, Justin Scarred, like they all seem to like this like certain era of movies that's very dear to them. I just didn't grow up. Grim Life, yeah. Certain Judge Grim Life does a lot of horror movies. You know, I like horror movies, but I didn't watch them until I didn't start watching horror movies probably started watching horror movies like a decade ago. Raw Vibes, thank you for the super chats. I'm a new YouTuber. What's your best advice for a newbie, and especially what camera? Well, thank you for the super chat. I would say if you're new, just stick with your phone. Just if you can, instead of investing money in a standalone camera, if you're just starting out, just make sure you have a really good phone. I think that's probably easier to do than going out and buying an expensive camera, because it will probably do about 95% of what you want it to, and you really just don't need to worry about the other 5%. Just film yourself with your phone, and have fun doing it. You know, if you're really into cameras and you like to mess around with cameras, I mean, go ahead and do that. But for the most part, you can get away with using your phone. I could probably get away with using my phone. I just prefer Noematic Studios retracted their comment like a coward. Julia Logeman says, Adam the Woo, all about 80s movies. No drunk rant today. I don't know. Stick around. We'll see what happens. Sasha Collins says, when does the Halloween season start for you? I would say, for me personally, I would say Halloween season starts when Halloween Horror Nights opens, because insulting viewers is listen, yeah, you're getting blocked. It's so silly. So silly. Have I ever listened to Adam's music? Like the music he performed? I don't think so. Honestly, I don't listen to that type of music really, so I just never even thought to. Have I been to Shawshank? Have I been to Shawshank? Yes. Yes, I've been to the Mansfield Reformatory. So, like, get big, like, set piece filming locations. Like, I'll do, like, the Kualoa Ranch. Like, that's super fun. But, like, when you guys say filming locations, like, I assume you're talking about stuff like Adam and Jay do. I just don't really do that. Like, hunting down, you know, the hunt. That's a real passion for them. That's just not necessarily part of what I do here. Coaster Cat, thank you for the super chat. Do you know that Funtown Splash on Main is a new dark ride called the Whispering Pines Haunted Hotel Dark Ride? Yes, I have been on that. Yeah, I don't really listen. I guess I don't listen to punk music. See, Ed Hamidi says, didn't Halloween start when Spirit started selling Halloween? Yeah, maybe. I think Halloween starts in phases. I think phase one would be, yeah, Spirit. I don't know when Spirit's going to start. Spirit canceled their event this year. Vicious Alien Gamer, thank you for the super chat. Griffin says, why don't you say Rosebud when shaking snow globes anymore? I'll try to remember to say it next time. you know, try to have fun, saying silly things. And then, yeah, just try to mix it up sometimes. Sometimes I think you guys get bored with me saying the same dumb things over and over. So I try to say new dumb things. There's still, you know, Spirit will still be around. I'll still stop by Spirit at some point. I did kind of the unofficial Spirit premiere last year where I went to, I found a Spirit that opened the same day. MTGA, the Shuffler, being on the spectrum, I assume that, like myself, you're very literal with how you interpret things said to you, and then how do you handle the toxic nature of the internet? It's rough, buddy. It's rough, buddy, because the internet's horrible. Internet's really nasty. A lot of cowards, a lot of, you know, people that like to talk tough or just be nasty because they have that shield. So basically, you just got to ignore it. You just got to try to remember, like, there's no reason that you need to seek the approval of people that don't represent your values. Like, when I look out there and I see the people that don't like me, like, it doesn't break my heart because they are not, like, if those people did like me, that would be worse because, like, does that make sense? Because, like, you can see these people. And I'm not saying that everyone likes me that doesn't like me is a bad person. Like, you cannot like me and be a bad person. But, like, if you are out there making anti-carpetbagger content, like, if that means enough to you in your day and you're that sad and pathetic that you are going on your computer and like going out of your way to harass me or going out of your way to make a video about me, like, yeah, you're not someone that I would want anything to do with. So I really don't care about your approval. So stay in your lane, stay over on your channel with your 500 subscribers, and you can talk about me over there. Oh my gosh, cover your ears. We got copyright music. Why do people blare copyright music out of their cars? They think everyone wants to hear copyright music. Ick the Troll King, thank you for the super chat. So I paid money to type this, and I appreciate you paying that money to type that. Julie Fielder says, hi, Jacob. It's Julie from Queen Mary's Dark Harbor. Midsummer Scream and Loss in Long Beach, California is coming up at the end of August, and I'll be there working. Hope to see you, maybe, Jen. Oh, Midsummer Scream. I've always wanted to go to Midsummer Scream. Always wanted to go to Midsummer Scream. I can just never quite work it out. I'm trying to think. End of August, I'm not going to be available because I'm going to be doing state fairs. Maybe next year will finally be the year for Midsummer Scream. Bertini, thank you for the super chat. Yo, Carpetbagger, I've been a fan since 2020. Much love. Can you guys hold on? I want to send a text message. I'll be right back. I'm back. Just need to send Jen a message. Let her know what I was up to. She was sleeping when I left the house. Johnny Rose says, can you kickflip? I don't know what those words mean. Saeed Hamidi says, oh my God, congratulations on hitting 530,000. Apparently I just hit 530,000. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Piano Man, Kentucky. Did you ever go to Evermore Park in Utah? Yes, I did. Man, Evermore. What was up with that? I drove across country to go to Evermore because it looked so cool. And I was very surprised by what I found. is what's her name? Jenny Nicholson. She did a kind of the ultimate video on Evermore, the most in-depth possible video you could ever hope for on Evermore. And she actually included some of my vlog in her magnum opus there. Crawford Overton says, I know you're the most knowledgeable. What's going on at Ghost Town? Nothing's going on at Ghost Town, buddy. Nothing. And I don't think anything ever will happen again. Samuel Lukey says, you grew up in Wisconsin or you were born there? So I was born in Milwaukee. I was born in the city of Milwaukee. My parents were divorced growing up, so my mom lived in Indiana. My father lived in Wisconsin, and I would split time. I went to school in Indiana, but I usually spent my vacations in Wisconsin. Kismet said, I thought you and Jen were already married before the engagement. No, me and Jen have never been married. Lethal Sword says, I have a question. When your now wife was in a car accident, why didn't you care enough to go home and check on her? When you get engaged, that doesn't mean she immediately becomes my wife. So I don't think you understand how marriage works. I did a whole video on that. Like, you can go watch that if you want. Nate's here and there says, what's going on, Jake? I just did the Lizard Man stomp in Bishopville. Now I'm feeling like I should have drove out to do Lizard Man. I didn't know what was going on. What's my music playlist while traveling? I make different lists. Kind of just changes. Right now I'm really stuck on an artist, Nick Lutzko. Maribeth Spence says, there's a yellow brick road Wizard of Oz thing at a park in South Dakota. But dang, I forgot the name of it. I've been there. Honestly, at the top of my head, I can't remember the name. Peter Beautiful, thank you for the super chat. What's the reason you never wear black shirts? Because I have 2 cats in my house. That's why I never wear black shirts. I can't keep them. I can't keep the cat hair off a black shirt. And colorful shirts show up better in thumbnails. Dan on Planet Earth, thank you for the not the super chat. Thank you for your normal comment. I don't know where that came from. Congrats on your engagement. If you're ever in Portland, Oregon soon, I can get you a tour of Leica Animation Studios where Coraline was filmed. Sadly, you won't be able to film. Well, that's awesome. Coraline. Yeah, I watched Coraline in the theater. I went through a period where I wore a lot of black shirts because I found these really awesome, like a whole set of Mothman shirts, like 5 or 6 of them that I loved. Alberta Torcaso says, cyberbullies caused the founder of Save a Fox to end her life. So sad. Yeah, that breaks my heart to hear stuff like that. I'm not familiar with that person. Kids, but it's fall time in Tennessee. Don't even think about growing a beard. It's fall time in Tennessee. Feels so good outside. Yes, fine. I'm glad someone else here likes Nick Lutsko. It smells like someone just drove by smoking marijuana. Seabox Man. I've seen the Dambo Trolls in Dayton, Ohio. Look it up. The video did terrible. Could use some more views. Lynn Garner says, just saw you were alive. I think you mean live, but that's kind of funny. Justin LeClaire. Jacob, what do you end up doing with the Scrambler card? I brought it to your place in Florida, and I still greatly appreciate that. It's in my living room. It's full of different plushies. Jen decorates it for the different season. Matthew Odom, thank you for the super chat. He's been watching you for years, and he plans on doing some Urbex like the old days. Thank you for the super chat. I would, some of those videos were really fun. I wouldn't hold my breath. I'm just not necessarily something I'm that passionate about doing anymore. But I'm not saying I'll never do it. I'm not actively seeking out any abandoned stuff. I don't know. It's just not my focus anymore. It was never really my focus. Just something I did for fun. Ken Roberts, thank you for the super chat. Have you ever met Nate, Paging Mr. Morrow? Yeah, Nate's a great guy. Ringo Techno, who's your favorite football team? I don't watch football. My dad was a big fan. My dad was a big fan. Always was a fan of the Chicago Bears. My dad, he liked the Chicago Bears because his dad was from Illinois. But my dad lived in Milwaukee. So everyone else liked the Green Bay Packers. But my dad always wore Chicago Bears clothing, even though he was from Milwaukee. And he would constantly be harassed and yelled at and have trash thrown at him because he wore Chicago Bear clothes in Milwaukee. That being said, I've never watched. Mr. Dark, I don't care. I seriously don't care. People can say whatever they want about me. They can make videos about me. I don't care. What city has the best nachos? Not a big nacho eater, really. Oh, really funny. Universal Horror Nights in Chicago? I don't know anything about that. Yes, the ban hammer. If you're annoying, you get banned. So everyone in here that's chatting knows that they're not annoying. Nate's here and there. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I can afford to get caught doing abandoned places without permission. I mean, most abandoned places, honestly, no one cares. Like, it's interesting, like, ownership of property isn't as straightforward as you might think. Most, like, the abandoned places are in a form of legal limbo. You know, like, if you have a place and you don't pay taxes on it, the government's supposed to take it, or the bank's supposed to take it, or however that works, but a lot of times they don't want it. So a lot of times it's like floating in a gray area. Sometimes people can like get away with it. They'll actually go back and realize that they didn't pay taxes on something, but it was never like, no one ever took the action to like reabsorb it, so they can actually go back and reclaim it even though they hadn't been paying taxes on it. It's, you know. Dan on Planet Earth says, I love your vacation videos. It brought back when I had a layover in Honolulu once. I guess, yeah, did they do layovers? Like when you're going like to Asia? That's interesting. And yeah, the airport is cool. I love the Honolulu airport. It's like all all open air. Name was cool. You have to pay tax for each state you film in? No, you just pay taxes in the state you live in. Johnny Rev says Fish Tank isn't that bad. They just had on Ricky Berwick. I don't know. I don't like that guy, Sam Hyde. It's the current price of gas in Waynesville? I don't know. No clue. But if someone's talking about me on Fish Tank, I don't mind. Matthew Odom, thank you for the super chat. I've been to little 5 Points in Atlanta. Yeah, I've been there a couple times. Vicious Gamer Alien, do I still talk to Boogie2988? Yeah. Yeah, he texted me and congratulated me on... he congratulated me on the engagement. My 2020 says, what kind of hobbies do you like? This channel used to be my hobby. Then it became my job. Now I don't have a hobby. Yeah, Cameo Dave was he was a commentator, commentated on travel YouTube videos, kind of a very niche audience, and he did pass away a few years ago. I'm not by niche audience. I'm not being insulting. I have a niche audience as well. Bernadette Gray says, Jacob, have you seen the Phantom themed carousel? It looks awesome. I think you'd love it. Phantom themed carousel. Where's that at? BA. You know, Boogie's my buddy. He's my friend. That doesn't mean that I approve of everyone he hangs out with. He's a grown man. He can make his own decisions. Dan on Planet Earth says, make sure to visit the new aquarium in Portland. It's completely dry, but with cartoon art. A dry aquarium with cartoon art. That sounds interesting. The little way says, what do you do to unwind from all the travels? Here's the thing. I don't unwind. I'm not good at unwinding. I don't even know how. When I try to unwind, I end up feeling worse than I did when I was winded. For those of you, I want to say, for those of you that can sit down in front of your television set, or those of you that could sit in front of a that's a better example. For those of you who can go out in your backyard, sit in front of a campfire and have a wonderful evening, I envy you most spectacularly. Molly Hoisington, thank you so much for the super chat. Will I be going to Meow Wolf in LA? I will be going to Meow Wolf until I die. Henry Davis says, have you been to Oakland Children's Fairyland? Walt Disney supposedly got his idea for Disneyland. I have. They were awesome. I contacted them. They let me film. I was in Oakland. It's really an awesome place. I had to get special permission because they don't normally allow adults to go there without children, but I reached out and they were really cool and really accommodating, and they have a really amazing place. Nameless School says, if I'm not in the mood, I lose my mind. I really, if it wasn't for Jen and the cats, like, I would probably just not stop. I love spending time with Jen. I love spending time with the cats. But other than that, I love traveling. Ryan, someone else said that. There's Universal Haunt in Chicago? What's going on? Seriously, what's going on? I've never heard this. Epic reefing. Hawaii is just gorgeous. No matter where you go in Hawaii is gorgeous. And you could travel all, like Oahu. I think I determined in Oahu, I could not, no matter which way I went, I could never be more than like an hour and a half from my hotel. Like, because the island's that small. But no matter where you go, it's beautiful. And there's like so many, like, I feel like you could drive around Oahu and see like 4 or 5 different environments in one day. It's just, it's awesome, guys. Go to Hawaii if you can. It's expensive, but go if you can. Man, Universal in Chicago. Yes, that sounds awesome. It's probably not open yet, I'm assuming. I assume we're talking just announcements. Ryan, I didn't see Aulani. The Disney Resort, it's kind of like really by itself. I don't think you really see it unless you're going to it. And I don't know, like, we went to a beach. It was at the Ritz-Carlton, like, at beach. I think all the beaches in Oahu are public. I don't think that any beaches are closed off. So I think you can go anywhere if it's a beach. I don't think that the resorts can restrict. I don't know that as a fact, but from what I've seen, it looks like the beaches are not restricted. There's no private beaches. Aulani lets you walk around for free. If I'd known that, I probably would have stopped there. Just out of curiosity. Hey, look, that mountain's beautiful right there. What house do you think would be sorted into Hogwarts? I don't know enough about Harry Potter. Alexandra, how many pressed pennies do you think you have? I've got to be getting up to 1,000. I said 600 at the end of last year. Add 6 months, it's got to be getting close to 1,000. All beaches in Hawaii are public access. That's the way it should be. Everywhere, every beach, no one should be able to restrict anyone from going to the ocean. The ocean belongs to all of us. Got a spammer. Sorry, I answered your question. The worst thing is when spamming is bad enough, but when someone is spamming and you answer their question and they just keep spamming, that's the worst. It's like they're not even listening for you to answer. Caitlin, thank you for the super chat. Did you ever go to Bugaboo Creek before closing? I don't know what that is. Dutch Wonderland only does the show twice a day. Sea boxing. What are you gonna do with all those pennies? I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all the pennies. Hopefully I can take a bath in them at some point. Samuel Lukey, have you ever toured Distortions? I never have. I don't know if they do tours. Ed is one of the Ed from Distortions is one of the nicest dudes I've ever literally met. I've met him a handful of times. You know, I haven't like sat and talked to him for like long periods of time, but he's just such a nice dude. Like he just has this like, he's like the best like nice guy aura like I've ever like encountered in anyone. Yeah, the view's pretty back there. Dan on Planet Earth says there's no private beaches in Oregon. That's awesome. I really I mean I think that's a bunch of BS that a beach can be private. I mentioned it earlier in the stream. I see people probably newer people coming in, asking the question about the wedding, and the answer is like we don't have anything planned yet. It's we're engaged. We will be married. We just have not made any decisions about that. We don't feel like we're in a rush. We want to take our time and just decide how we want to do it. But that's it. We really haven't had much of a chance. You know, we've both not been feeling well. I am so jet lagged, and Jen is jet lagged and not feeling well. Yeah, Ryan, I didn't see Jay's video. But that's cool that him and Chris got invited. What's the statue behind me? Let's go see. I think... Is this a... Oh, this is a Revolutionary War statue. This is a Revolutionary... Yeah. Militia Rifleman. This is from the Revolutionary War. Let's see what other monuments here. They used to have... I don't know if they still or not. They used to have a Confederate monument. I can't remember if they took it down or not. This is U.S. Army, Navy, honor of all veterans who served, the armed forces. It's a Korean War monument here. And let's go see what these other monuments are. What's this one say? I can't read that very well. Century Vault. Oh, this is a... This is a time capsule. It's supposed to open up 2076. I'll be really, really dead by then. Let's see what this last monument is. Oh yeah, it's still here. This is the Confederate monument. It says, honor, commemorate the Confederate veterans of Haywood County. Yep. I thought they talked about getting rid of it, but I guess they decided to keep it. Ryan, yes, I miss Zippies. I was a little bit relieved when I found out they had Zippies in Las Vegas. So definitely next time I go through Vegas, I'm gonna I obviously don't like agree with the philosophy of the Confederacy at all. Like, slavery is horrible, but I mean people died. Like, I'm not saying you can't remember people who died. It doesn't bother me really. Does Spam taste different in Hawaii? No, pretty much the same. It's good. Love Spam. Always love Spam. Gets a bad name. People that come into the comment section. Was it all about slavery? Yeah, it was. Will you ever come through Albany, Georgia, see a character based on you this haunt season named Bagger Boy? I'm with the South Georgia Ghostbusters Ballistic. Well, I'm honored. Thank you so much. JJ from Arizona. Drinks on me from Hillbrook, Arizona. Well, thank you. I don't know if we'll be having any drinks this evening, but thank you anyways. Holbrook. It's where the wigwams are, right? Daryl says, who do you think will get married first? Tampa J, me, or Jordan? It's not a race. I have no idea. Dean and Gina, no such thing as Hawaii pizza. You're absolutely right. They don't even really eat pineapple in Hawaii. Hawaiian pizza is a Canadian dish. It's Canadian. Any Hunter Cooks, any plans of going to the Smithsonian? I check out the Smithsonian museums all the time when I'm in Washington, D.C. Like a lot of people, when they hear the Smithsonian, they think that there's just one museum. It's a series of museums. Little Way says, OMG, you broke my heart. What? Are you talking about Canadian pizza? Yeah. Hawaiian pizza's Canadian. They really so it's not, but the thing is, well, it says, what if it is spiritually Hawaiian? It's not. Like, they don't eat pineapple in Hawaii. They grow pineapple in Hawaii. Pineapple is not indigenous to Hawaii. Pineapple is a crop that they grow in Hawaii that is not part of the traditional diet of Hawaii. And here in the mainland, we just slap pineapple on everything and call it Hawaiian. Like the freaking like Hawaiian burger. Throw a chunk of pineapple in there. Vancouver, they call Hawaiian. Dan Punter says in Vancouver, they call Hawaiian pizza Canadian pizza. Well, that's actually accurate. Ryan says same thing with oranges in Florida. They're not indigenous. I guess I never thought about that, but yeah, I guess you're right. Alice Martinez, thank you for the super chat. Congratulations on your engagement. Thank you so much. So Hawaiian burger is just a burger. I don't know. Maybe you could put like a burger with a big dollop of poi on it. That would be a Hawaiian burger. Well, it says, well, apples aren't indigenous to America. They are considered American. I mean, but you understand, like, in Hawaii, they don't eat pineapple. They, like, don't eat it. Like, it's not something they eat. They grow it. So it's like, I don't know, like, you know, I lived in Indiana, they grew corn, but they didn't necessarily, it's not like necessarily something we ate. Like, it's not like we ate like just corn. Coconuts are indigenous. They do, I think they're indigenous. I think. I don't want to speak out of line because some of the stuff they do eat was brought in from other places. Like mangoes grow in Hawaii, but they were brought in from other places. But they do eat, coconut. Coconut is part of their diet. I like poi. Maybe I'm the only one. Favorite restaurant in Waynesville? I hate to say it. Man, Waynesville is one of the worst places in the world for restaurants. We have nothing. There's a few that I like, but there's just not a good choice here. I smell a skunk. No, it's not. It's not marijuana. It's an actual skunk. Bogarts is okay. Matt Heron, thank you for the super chat. Says House on the Rock should be considered for your wedding. I'm sure they do them there. I don't know what we're doing. I would love to do something very strange, but I don't want to like, I want Jed to have equal input. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm being bombarded with questions about the wedding and I just don't know. Ryan, yeah, I'm on good terms with Damon from Smitty's. Consider him a friend. He unfortunately, much like me, has been screwed by Aaron Fechter. As is every person that has ever worked with Aaron Fechter. Can you guys hear me? Sometimes I get in the car, the sound, problems with the sound. No wolves, skunks, or possums in Hawaii. There's not a lot of mammals in Hawaii. Listen, I'm not going to say if me and Jen have talked about the Cocaine Bear wedding or not. Me and Jen want kids. No, we're too old. We are too old. What does my daughter think of Jen? My daughter loves Jen. Alice Martinez says, how do you like eating with your hands? I feel like Americans eat with their hands all the time. Mainlander, I feel like we eat pizza, wings, ribs with our hands. I see people, for some reason, people seem to have a visceral reaction when you eat poi with two fingers like you're supposed to. Oh yeah, Julie Fielder. Good point. I can't have kids. I had surgery specifically. Is Jen's sister cool like her? Yeah, I really like Jen's sister. It's the only family she has. And that's like when you meet Jen's sister. So it was intimidating because it was literally like meeting her entire family in one person. So if Jen's sister didn't like me, then literally that meant her whole family hated me. Carol Belville says, next year you should do Year of the National Parks. I definitely am trying to incorporate more national parks into this channel. I've done a few this year. Is there any dark rides? I'm going to ask a question about dark rides. Name of School says, are there any dark rides you want to ride but haven't? I don't think so. I don't think there's any dark rides I haven't ridden. Yeah, there's chickens everywhere in Hawaii. Chickens everywhere in Key West. Can you video in national parks now? Absolutely, 100% you can. There was some weirdness revolving filming in national parks. They were never really clear about it, never really clear what constituted having to, if you could film in national parks or not, but they actually passed an act, a law, into existence. One of the smartest things that our government has done in recent history. They actually voted to, it's a big bill, so it's not the only thing that was in the bill, but it was called the Explore Act, and part of it was that you do not need permission to film in a national park as long as you are not filming in a way that is different than anyone else can film. So like if you're filming like a movie and you're like, if you've got like lighting and set up and you're like bringing in your own like donkeys, like, yeah, you need a permit. But if you're just filming with a camera in your hand, then you can do whatever you want. Roderick says, will the name of the channel change from the Carpetbagger to the Carpetbaggers? No, this is my channel. This is the Carpetbagger channel. Jen's channel is Jenny Penny on YouTube. I'll never share this account with anyone. This is my account. What hotel did we stay at? We stayed at the, I don't think I ever mentioned that in the video, did I? I don't think so. Best Western by the Honolulu Airport Plaza, I think it's called. And it was just fine. J-Ram, people wanting this to become a couples channel. It's not a couples channel. This is my channel. Jen is part of my life and therefore part of my channel. but this is my channel. Name of school, well, when you're married, everything is shared. Nope. A lot of stuff, but not everything. Me and Jen have good boundaries. And we have very similar beliefs on what good boundaries are. Figgy says, Jay from Canada here. How do you interact with fans in the wild? Would love to see you interact with more while you're in your travels. I'm at the point in my career where I do get noticed a lot. And I'm completely happy with saying hi, taking photos, you know, whatever. Passion flower. I treated my taxidermy. I've got it all wrapped up in garbage bags right now. What time is it? It's about 8:45. Sparky says, Jacob, thanks for the Father's Day cameo. You're absolutely welcome. Did I see the fireball that flew over South Carolina? Well, I wasn't in South Carolina, so no. All right, guys, I think I'm probably going to hop off here in a few minutes. If anyone's got any final questions, comments, concerns, technical issues. Kai says, I've been watching your videos for over 8 years now. First started watching when you were at Gatlinburg and went to Believe It or Not. Thank you for all you do and for being my favorite YouTuber. We are absolutely welcome. Thank you for the support. Mama says, are your kids excited for the wedding? Anna is. She said she wants to be there regardless of what we do. Julie Fielder, I do like Dark Harbor. I will try to come to Dark Harbor. I do go out to California every Halloween, usually. Dan Planet Earth says, at least we have fully addressed the Hawaiian pizza scandal and that Lincoln still has a high-pitched voice. So they actually, Defunct Land did a great video about the history of Disney animatronics, and they actually addressed the fact that that Disney made a conscious decision to not give Lincoln a high-pitched voice. Apparently, there actually was consideration when they made the animatronic Lincoln. They had to make a decision what he would sound like, and they actually decided, there was a decision made that they would not go, they would go the Brontosaurus route, that they would try to make things more to what people's expectations were, more than what the correct, historically accurate thing would have been. Have I caught up out of my sleep? No. This is miserable. down on planet Earth, it would be like, when you killed my brother, I talked like this. When I they said when you kill, I think we said when I killed your brother, I talked just like this, right? I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. PP only. Thank you for the super chat. Would you ever do the drive Route 20 across the U.S.? I would. I don't know if I will. Niece Bull Deal. Yes, I think Judge Doom freaked out every little kid that saw that movie. I-90 Boston to Seattle. I mean, anything's on the table. Anything's on the table. I mean, the interstates don't have as much history behind them as the older roads, but still an interesting trip. Well, it says, did Lincoln sound like Emo Phillips? I don't know who that is. Sorry. Ashley asked if I know anything about beekeeping. No. I need to keep the bees in a box. I know that there's a queen bee. And bees puke honey out, I think. I think they barf it out their mouths. All right, guys. Well, on that note, I think I'm going to head home. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. And special thank you to anyone who dropped a super chat. And until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.